Hey, my name's Cassie, and I am just starting my backpacking journey. I just went on my first trip a couple weeks ago, and I'm about to go on another overnight tomorrow. So I thought I would share the backpacking kit that I put together for myself, mostly on a budget. I'm also packing the bag for my overnight tomorrow, which is actually going to be in the sand dunes. But I guess first things first, I think the most important part of starting any hobby, whether it's backpacking or something else, is using the gear that you either already have, you can borrow from someone, or you can get used like at some sort of thrift store or something like that, or online. Facebook Marketplace is a huge resource for that nowadays. When you're first starting something, you have no idea if you're going to like it or not. You might end up hating it, and then you spent all this money for what? You know what I mean? So I think when you're first starting out, just go as cheap as possible. And then later on, you can kind of learn what you like, what you don't like, what you need, all the different aspects of it. And then you can invest in better gear. So I'll just throw that out there. That's my first piece of advice. So, with that being said, I'm going to start with the two of the biggest components of backpacking gear, which is your tent and sleeping bag. Now, these I didn't pay for. I actually won these two things, plus the table you're sitting on, actually, on like a Instagram giveaway thing. So this gear is from Used, one of the two, UST. They have a ton of camping and backpacking and all that kind of gear, and I really like these items. I love the sleeping bag. It is so comfortable and so warm, and the tent is really, really great. I was in rain pretty much the whole time of my trip a couple weeks ago, including a really, really bad storm the first night and then hail the second day. And this tent held up so well. This is actually a two-person tent. Part of me kind of wants a one-person tent just because I know it'll save a little bit of weight at least. And I'm only one person, so I don't need anything more than that. But I will say, I really like having the extra space in this tent. I can have all my gear inside. I don't need to leave anything out. There's so much room for activities. So I do really like that. But if I was buying a tent, I would have bought a one person tent just because that's all I need. The other thing about these things, though, both the sleeping bag and the tent, is they are definitely not lightweight. A lot of people are trying to get their pack weight down as much as possible. Both the sleeping bag and the tent are 4 pounds and some odd ounces. Eventually, I will upgrade, I think, to a lighter option, but for now, I think it's small enough. It works so well. I will not be upgrading this right now. So there's the tent. With the sleeping bag, it's a little bit different. I love the sleeping bag. I really do. It's so comfortable. It kept me so warm, and it was pretty cold. I was at like 12,400 feet, and it got cold. But I was so warm. Actually, the second night after it hailed, throughout the night I was almost too warm. So I love it, but it's so big. After just doing some research, I have found some for like a pound, 2 pounds, that are reasonable money wise. With the tent and sleeping bag, that's already 9 pounds. Most lightweight backpackers, all of their gear is under 10 pounds, is like the goal. I don't care to be a lightweight backpacker, truthfully. I don't. I would rather be comfortable at camp than worry about the weight. But there's obviously a line with that. If you can go lighter, you should without losing the comfort that you want. If you can do that, great. With that being said, I do love the sleeping bag, but after that first trip, I do think I will be investing in a new lighter one at some point, probably sooner than later. So that's a tent sleeping bag. Those are going to be two of the most expensive parts of all of this. Okay, so there was one thing that I did splurge on a little bit, and that is a bear can. Now, this thing, this piece of plastic basically, was like $80. Or I'm sorry, I think this one is normally almost 90, but I got it on sale for like 70 or something like that. So most of the places that I like to spend my time and I'm going to be backpacking through and camping in are bear areas. So most of them actually require you to have some sort of bear container, whether that's something like this or like a bear bag where you hang it in the tree. A bear bag is going to be way cheaper. So if you're on a budget, go with the bear bag. But the reason I did the can is because I know that I spend a lot of time hiking in areas that don't have trees. So, for example, the one I just did a couple weeks ago, there were zero trees where I was camping at. So there was, I mean, literally no way for me to do that. And the where I'm going tomorrow in the sand dunes, obviously, there's not going to be a tree around for me to hang a bag on. And so I think that's just a big thing for me is knowing that I'm going to be in a lot of places that don't have trees available for me to use a bear bag. I mean, I have my reasons. You do what's best for you. But I decided to go with the bear can, specifically bear vault is what it's called. Now, there are different sizes. This one said it was good for like 5 to 6 days worth of food. I know that I'm gonna want to do longer trips, and that if I had gotten the smaller one, I would have ended up having to get a bigger one when I get to that point, anyways. And the price difference between the small one and this one, it just made more sense to get the bigger one first. Now, I will say, I wish I did have something smaller for these smaller trips, like a 1 night, 2 night trip, just because this is a bit excessive for that. But I'm not going to buy 2 cans when I can just get one and then use that for all of them. So, with that said, though, if you are going on shorter trips and you don't have that much food, you can put your other stuff in here, like other cooking gear. Like I have my little fork thing in here, which, by the way, this little thing is cool. It's the Spork, but then there's a knife on the end of it. Yeah, I'll put all the links below in case you want to look at any of this. It's a Toaks, the 750 milliliter one. I got this size because it's more than enough water for my like food or coffee or whatever, but it's also small enough that I could use it as like a mug for my coffee. This is my stove. It's very small, but it worked fantastic. All you do is turn this and then hit the igniter and it's on. You don't even need a lighter. I do have one in here just in case, but it worked so well and it was pretty windy too. Again, this was an Amazon purchase. I do know that Walmart has one pretty similar to this. So that's my little food setup. My trekking poles. These are Walmart, good old Ozark Trail, right? I really like them for the most part. For the most part. As long as they have all of their pieces, they work great. I love the cork handles because when your hands get all sweaty, I think the grip is just, it holds up really well compared to like some other handles that aren't cork. Like your hands will start sliding or get uncomfortable or whatever, but the cork is like really, really nice to have for that. So yeah, not great. Could definitely be better, but they do the job. And for the price, I don't know. I don't think you can beat them, but I think that's kind of anything. As long as you do your research, you're gonna get decent products. It's just really more so about how long they'll last and all of that. But in my experience, everything lasts long enough to make the price worth it for the most part. Obviously, there's exceptions to that. But I've talked to so many people who have bought such expensive things that don't last as long as they should. And like, I could have spent way less money and had it last just as long. But that's just my opinion. We've got the sleeping pad. This is a very classic accordion sleeping pad. Not very warm, not very comfortable. I believe these are an R value of 2, which is basically nothing. But it provides a small layer in between you and the ground, which is going to help more than it's going to hurt. So I will say, for having spent $35 on this, I do kind of wish I would have just spent the extra 50 and gotten a better one. But it works. It's a sleeping pad. It does the job. If you're looking for something that's going to keep you extra warm and give you extra comfort, I'd probably go with something a little bit more expensive. But if you're on a budget like I was, it works. Oh, duh. We have to talk about the pack. This is something I did a ton of research on. Guess who I went with? The Ozark Trail one. You can change the torso length, which is really good to have because packs are not going to fit everyone the same. Everyone has different sizes, they carry their weight differently. Their torso might be longer than someone else's legs, but they're the same height. Like, it varies so drastically, and I think having an adjustment option is really, really good. And then you can kind of like mess with it as you're going. And I mean, I changed mine 3 times on the first hike just because I was learning where it was comfortable, how I could have more of the weight on my hips and my shoulders and everything like that. So that was a huge piece of it for me. And then it also has like so much padding, which I really liked. And then the hip pockets, I do wish that these were in the front more. They're pretty much like right on the side, which isn't a big deal. It's just something I noticed. But honestly, like, it's a really good bag and it has so much storage. It has like the pocket up here, it has a little like hole for your water, and then it has the bottom part, which I think technically is for your sleeping bag, but I put my bear can in there just to give the most support on the bottom as I could. It has this front pocket, which is where I keep my water filter stuff and my little first aid bag. The water filter I was using is the Sawyer Squeeze. I think that's like a pretty classic one that everyone uses just because it works and it's good and it does the job. Uh, the bags are in the car, but it's so easy. It comes with bags. You just fill the bag, screw this on top, open this, and then squeeze the bag, and it's so easy. So that's the water filter I have. So this is a 55-liter bag, but then this bag actually can be zipped on the front of it to make it a 60-liter bag. My camera, both my lenses, and my drone is in here. I can also take this on now, like shorter hikes. I can put my snacks and my camera in here instead of carrying my like computer backpack camera bag. So I really, really like this little extra bag, which was a selling point for me. It has these like oversized water bottle holder on both sides, and then it has these side pockets too on both sides, which I actually didn't even know until I was on the hike. And then obviously you have like the big main compartment in here. I think it was $65 I spent on this bag, which is crazy compared to prices of backpacks. Like, it's honestly insane. So that's the bag. I really like it. I think it's a great deal for what everything you're getting in it. I don't really know why you would get anything more expensive, to be honest with you. I mean, I'll definitely keep sharing if with all of this, like the quality, depending on like if for whatever reason this bag falls apart soon, like I'll let you know. But I don't see that happening. I think it's pretty good quality. It has more than enough storage. It has everything that you would need. So for $65, I don't know how you beat that, but oh yeah, and my little compass. I think it's always good to have a compass with you and know how to use it. Also in here, I have more bear protection. I had gotten this air horn long before I got the bear spray. Honestly, I think for the most part, this is all you would need to scare away a large animal. I now have both, so I'm going to keep both just because if I don't have to use this, I don't want to use it. I'd much rather use this as my first line of defense than this, but having this as a backup is also a great option. So there's that. This is definitely a topic of debate in the backpacking community. If you are trying to be lightweight, you're not going to want to have camp shoes. These are not light. I could definitely get lighter ones. These are just the sandals I already had. But I cannot imagine not having a pair of camp shoes when you get to your spot. After a long, probably pretty strenuous hike, I am not going to want to stay in my boots all night. I'm just not. So, this is a luxury item for sure. You don't need them, but I will not be going backpacking without some sort of camp shoe. Oh, bathroom situation. Can't forget that. So, first things first is you want to bring a couple Ziploc bags and wipes. For number two, you're going to want to have a shovel. In most situations, you'll be able to dig a hole. You want to dig a hole at least 6 inches for your waist, and then cover it. Make sure you do not bury your toilet paper or wipes. You have to pack those out. Leave no trace, okay? If you're in a spot where you can dig, great. But a lot of people are now turning to actually packing out your waste as well. So bringing some sort of bag or situation where you can pack it out, it's not a bad idea. Just so, because when you think about the amount of people that are in certain areas, hiking, spending time outdoors, whatever, and everyone is digging holes. Hopefully, they're digging holes and not just leaving their stuff out. It adds up quick. Do what you need to do. Make sure you're doing your research on the location, what they require from you. Having a shovel is always a good idea, and then bringing bags with you is also a good idea. So, keep both those things in mind. This is pretty light option. I got this when I first moved into the van, so I didn't get this for this. I just already had it, which brings me back to my first point about just using what you have. I've got a little hatchet. You definitely don't need this for every trip. I will not be taking this to the sand dunes tomorrow. This is for like when you're in the woods and stuff and you want to chop up firewood or whatever the case is. You can use it for multiple reasons, obviously. Not a bad little extra weapon. Um, I'm just going to be honest. That's something that's in my mind. And then it also has paracord on it. This headlamp I got on Amazon. It actually came in a pack of two. It's very bright. It has multiple options. It has the red light, which I really wanted. And then it also has a motion activated option. It's rechargeable, but the actual light is pretty big. I know you can get smaller and more lightweight options. I mean, it's light, it's not heavy, but I know that there's smaller, lighter weight options. But for the price, I think I paid like $13 for two of them, and they work really, really well. So I like them. Anything else in here? I think that's it. Am I missing anything? Probably. So you really have to look at what kind of gear you have actually before you buy your bag. And also like how long trips are you going to want to do, because the longer the trip, the more stuff you might have and vice versa. Like I think it's so personal the size and type of gear that you get, because everyone is so different in what they need, what they don't need, how comfortable they want to be at camp, or how lightweight they want to be. It's just totally dependent on what you want. So, in your research and doing all of this, make sure that you are thinking about what you will want on the trail. And, like I said, if you can, use gear that you already have or borrow it or get it used for the first however long until you know exactly what you want to invest your money in, because this stuff is not cheap. It's not cheap. And if you don't even know if you like it yet, then don't spend the money on it. And that's just my opinion. Now I have to pack up for the overnight tomorrow really quick. I will be leaving my bear spray and the horn in there because they are out there if I do end up cowboy camping, which is the plan, but I'm also a little bit hesitant. Honestly, I think what I'm going to do is ask the people at the visitor center when I get there just to see kind of their opinion, what they think. If they think it's completely safe to cowboy camp, then that's what I'm going to do. If they're like, it might get really windy or it might rain or something tonight, or we've seen animal activity, then I might end up bringing the tent. But it'll probably be a in the moment decision just after I see what they say. But in the event that I do cowboy camp, the things I will need are my sleeping bag, my headlamp. Do I want the hat? I might want the hat. So it's only going to be for one night. So I really don't need like much food, or I'm not going to be bringing like extra clothes or anything. It's literally just my sleeping bag, which almost takes up the whole bag. Don't need the water filter because there's no water sources out there. So that is actually something else I need to keep in mind is I need to bring, they say, at least a gallon per night per person. The water bladder thing, I'll have that, and then I actually bought two extra water bottles just to have, because the water bag thing is only like 2 liters. I won't need my poles, so those will be staying. So I do need the bear vault, even though I'm not going to be bringing that much food. I am going to be bringing a little bit, and they do require you to have some sort of bag or vault or something. You can't fly your drone in national parks. So it's just going to be my camera. So I'll be able to not use this bag and just put the lenses in here and then have the camera on my new little camera clip. So that'll be nice. So the pack is actually going to be sort of small. It just looks so freaking big because of this sleeping bag and the bear can, which is kind of so annoying, but it is what it is. So let me put this stuff away because I'm not going to need it. So then that just leaves the tarp. So I got this at Walmart yesterday for tomorrow night. I know that I'm going to be using this a lot in the future. So I did get the one that's a little bit heavy duty as well. So it's a little bit heavier than the other one. But I want to start learning like bushcraft stuff and like making my own shelter and things like that. So I've been wanting to get a tarp for a while, and then this sand dune thing, cowboy camping, just kind of gave me the perfect excuse to actually buy one. And these extra straps are really nice because if you have something in your pocket, like I did with my tent poles, these little straps help keep them secure and not like flopping around. But they also help make the pack a little bit smaller and tighten everything up. And that's it. Definitely feels lighter without the tent. And there's a few things that I still need to put in here, like some snacks and all the water, which will definitely add weight. But it's honestly not that bad. And obviously, the more that you do it, the easier it'll get. And I mean, this might seem so obvious, but I just love the fact that you can literally have everything you need on your back. That's just the coolest part of backpacking to me. And I think a big part of like what enticed me to get started with it, because I've been living in my van for 4 years now, and the freedom that this lifestyle provides, where you have everything you own with you and you can go anywhere and do whatever, and you have everything, you have your home with you. And this is just like that, only to obviously a much smaller level. Obviously, this is not everything I own, that's all in the van still, but this is everything I need to allow me to go sleep in the middle of nowhere, to go on this amazing adventure for really however long I want, because the only thing that you're going to run out of is water and food. Water, that's why you have a water filter, so that you can get water pretty much anywhere. And food, yes, you'll need to go into town and restock or whatever the case is if you're doing an extended trip. But for anything under than like a week or so, you have everything you need. And I just find that so freeing and so exciting. And now that I have this, I just kind of feel like so many doors have opened up for me. And I'm just so excited for all of the adventures that this pack and this budget gear, for the most part, is going to take me. And I hope that this has maybe inspired you a little bit to just get out there with whatever you have or whatever you can get from your friends or family or for cheap online, because that's really all that matters, is that you're getting out there. The gear that you have, that is so not important. Like it truly does not matter as long as you're getting out there. I think this kit for the most part is going to last me a very long time. Yes, when I get more money, I will probably upgrade a couple things, but for now, I am so happy with this pack and with this gear that I have. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment them below. I guess the next time I will see you will be in the sand dunes. Cowboy camping, hopefully. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Let me show you this view really quick.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt.